A very good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Monday, June 27th, 2022. And this is Live Talk. I am Cape Stobe.
And I am Evans Zininga.
Tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about a raft of measures introduced by Zimbabwe Central Bank in an attempt to rope in galloping inflation and create confidence in the local money market.
Zimbabwe's central bank says the country will use the current multi-currency system for the next 5 years. The governor of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, Dr. Godwin Mangundla, told reporters in Harare that lack of confidence in the financial market, high inflation, and skewed demand for the United States dollar has forced the government to make additional policy measures to curb public fears over what's going on in the Southern African nation.
Mangundla said government has clearly stated in its intention of maintaining a multiple currency system based on dual use of the US dollar and the Zimbabwe dollar. However, he said the market lacks confidence that the multi-currency system is here to stay for the foreseeable future. To eliminate speculation, the government has decided to embed the multi-currency system and the continued use of the US dollar into law for a period of 5 years.
Nube said the interbank market exchange rate is now being determined by banks on a willing buyer, willing seller basis. The utilization in all economic transactions of this formal rate is now made mandatory by law. Nube also said while economic agents are free to price their goods in US dollars or Zimbabwe dollars, and there are no price controls, the equivalence of US dollar prices and Zimbabwe dollar prices for a commodity should be strictly based on the current interbank exchange rate as determined by the willing buyer, willing seller rate. Mangundla also said the confidence deficit among economic agents as a result of past hyperinflation experiences has resulted in rational demand for US dollars as a store of value. This is reflected not only in the increasing holding of foreign currency balances in the banking system. These balances, however, do not efficiently circulate in the economy due to structural issues in the banking sector.
According to Mangundla, the lack of confidence and high inflation expectations have incentivized economic agents to engage parallel market benchmarking of prices and a skewed preference for US dollars for commercial transactions and forward exchange rate pricing, thus creating a vicious cycle of increasing prices, which is self-fulfilling and is generating higher month-to-month levels of inflation, as well as fueling adverse inflation expectations.
At the same time, Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube says the Public Service Commission, in collaboration with several ministries, are working towards the resuscitation of the housing loan guarantee facility for civil servants amid a strike by the health professionals in the country.
Ivan sehlangana njalo-ke namhlanje kuhlelo lwe-live talk lapho esizwa khona kuthiwa-ke idola le-Melika selingani lingavuka njalo kwele Zimbabwe. Siyabona ukuthi umnumzana John Mangundla yena ngusiba likhulu webhanga le-Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe wethulela umhla okuthize esenzela ukuthi kuvinjwe ukuthi kungadiliki umnotho welizwe. Njalo siyabona ukuthi inflation ekhona khona manje ukukhudeka komnotho kuyethusa kakhulu. So-ke sebezama ukuthi bavuselele ukuthi abantu bathembe phela ukuthi kuya phambili kuzalunga. Siyabona-ke ugavana ukuthi-ke lokuthiwa i-multi-currency system ekhona elizweni siyaqhubeka kweminyaka eyi-5 elandelayo ukuthi bakwenza lokhu ngoba babona ukuthi abanye abantu basathemba ukuthi kulungile konke Evans okwenzakala elizweni. Njalo ugavana we-Reserve Bank uphinde wathi akubonayo ukuthi i-financial market eZimbabwe ngani iyaxega, so-ke sokungani sokumele kulungiswe okuningi kakhulu. So-ke khonokho-ke akutshoyo ukuthi nxa ukuthi ule mpahla yakho oyithengisayo ulakho ukuthi uyithengise nge-US dollar njalo lange-Zimbabwe dollar, kodwa kumele konke lokhu kube pegged ku-intermarket rate eyabe khona. so kule interbank rate lana okumele uyikhangele ukuthi hayi lokhu kuyimali engaka la usungafaka nje US dollar yakho ehambelana le intermarket rate naleyo. So ukuthi hayi obayekele ukwenza khonokho bazajeziswa okunye okumangalisayo. Nxa ungusomabhizimusi ulakho uthathelwe ilicense yakho. Nxa ukuthi kumbe umuntu othengisa emgwaqweni bazakuthathela amanyathelo bebona ukuthi kungenzwani konke lokho. So-ke kukhanya ngazani-ke ngokuya kwezinto idola le-America Evans likhona futhi lihlala. Then sizebona-ke uMthuli Ncube uyakhuluma laye lapha-ke umgcini ingcebo kahulumende weZimbabwe uthi sebezama ukuthi belungise i-housing scheme liyana yakudala ngoba ubona ukuthi abantu bafuna ukutshengisela kade sikhuluma nje kutshengisela abongi labongikazi labanye abasebenza kwezempilakahle bafuna imali bafuna idola phela le-America Evans kunjani?
Yebo baba Dube muri eZimbabwe tinokuchingamidza muchirongwa chedu chanhasi Livetalk matiri kutarisa zviri kuitika muZimbabwe maererano negwaro raburitswa mangwanani ano vachitaura vebhanga guru renyika veRBZ vamangundla pamusoro pemari dzemunyika mamiriro adzakaita dzichifambirana negurukota rezvemari vaMuthuli Ncube vachipawo mashoko avo pamusoro pezviri kuitika. Tanzwa kuchitaurwa nyaya yekuti kushandiswa kwema-US dollars munyika pamwe chete nema-RTGS mari dzemuZimbabwe zvicharamba zvichishandidzana zvichishandiswa zviri pamwe chete kwemamwe makore 5 anotevera. Mashoko aya achibuda mushure mekunge tave nemazuva akawanda mwedzi yakawanda mumashure vambotaura zvekuti vari kushingirira kugadzirisa kuti Zimbabwe idzokere kushandisa mari yemuZimbabwe chete vamire kushandisa mari yekunze ma-US dollars yekuno kuAmerica. Asi vachitaurawo kuti kushayikwa kwehudzamu neuremu hwemari yemunyika takatarisana nemari yekunze yema-US dollars zviri kupa vemabhizinesi kuti vatye kushanda nemari dzemukati menyika vashayiwe hanya nekushanda nemari dzemukati menyika zvaakupa kuti marates ekuchinjwa kwemari mumusika mutema pamusika wepamutemo kumabhanga nepose pose zvichinje mazuva akawanda zvinopa kuti mitengo yezvinhu isagadzikane vanhu vanetseke kuwana mari dzacho vanadzo vachitaura zvavanoda kuti vagone kutenga nekutengesa. Tanzwa vaMncube vachitaurawo panyaya iyoyo vachitaura kuti hakuna iko zvino izvi chichange chichishanda sema-price controls mukubatwa kwemari kunzi mitengo isapfuure pakati mitengo isaende pasi pezvakati zvanzi vave kutarisira kuti kumboshandiswa willing buyer willing seller zvichitsanangura izvo kuti anoda kutenga anenge achitaura mari yaanoda kutenga nayo, anoda kutengesa anenge achitaurawo mari yaanoda kutengesa nayo. Vaviri ivavo vakawirirana kutengeserana votengeserana zvisina anozomanikidza mumwe kukwidza kana kudzika zvoenderana nekuwirirana kwavo. Taakudzokera kubuya tina pangana yaitaurwa kare iya muchishona. Vazoendererawo mberi vamangundya vachitaura kuti kushayikwa kwechivimbo chevemabhizimisi mumari yekunze zviri kuramba zvichiwedzera kuti zvinhu zvirambe zvichiomera vazhinji vakabatawo nhau dzekunzi hurumende inodawo kuedza kugadzirisa kuti idzose nyaya dzezvirongwa zvezvikwereti zvedzimba ma-housing schemes ekuedza kubatsiridza vanhu kuti vawane kutenga dzimba kana kuvaka zviri nyore uye zvakati chipeiwo. Ameno kuti zvinobuda here hatizivi, asi ndo zviri kutaurwa, ndizvo zvavari kutarisira kuti vachange vachiita. Vazopedzisirawo ivo gurukota rezvemari vaMuthuli Ncube vachitaura kuti vari kushandawo nePublic Service Commission nemamwe mabazi ehurumende akasiyana-siyana mukuedza kugadzirisa nyaya dziri kunetsa dzakafanana zvezvitereka mastrike anga achiitwa mazuva apera nevashandi munyaya dzemuutano, manesi, vanadhokotera. Takaonawo nematicha kumashure kuvanga vachistrikawo vachiramwa mabasa. Zvakawanda zvanga zviri kuitika. Ndo nyaya iri mudariro muzuva ranhasi. Tichanzwa kuti zvii zviri kuitika uye tine nyanzvi dzakasiyana-siyana vachange vachitijoinawo muchirongwa tichizokurukura nezvazvo. Baba Gibbs.
Yes, thank you so much, Evans. We have got our first guest, who is Dr. Masimba Mavaza. He belongs to the ruling ZANU-PF party. He is based in London. Dr. Mavaza, welcome to the program, sir.
Welcome, Gibbs. Welcome, Mr. Ndinga. Welcome, Zimbabweans.
Thank you very much. Can you give us your sober thoughts on exactly what is going on here in terms of what Dr. Mangoja and Mr. Mtuli are doing? So let's start with this kind of issue that people don't have confidence in the financial market anymore. You know, they actually said it, that, you know, some people are preferring the US dollar compared to the local currency. So go ahead, Dr. Mavaza.
Firstly, let me give a layman's definition of what is a multi-currency system. A multi-currency system is just a multi-currency business where currencies from different countries are taken as legal tender in a particular country. That means you can use any money which is recognized in that country. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 countries. In our case, it is Zimbabwean dollar, which is a bond, US dollar, rand, and to an extent, some other currencies as would be advised by the country. Now, there are advantages which we need to look at, and why, or what is the advantage of multi-currency. The first one, it reduces the transaction costs. There will be no cost to use foreign currency because the foreign currency is being used in the local currency. So in other words, you are not going to buy foreign currency because it's already there, it's tender. So it reduces the costs of the foreign currency. It's easier and more convenient for handling payments. You can simply go into the bank, pay with your Zim dollar or with your US dollar at that rate. And again, it makes it very speedy, very efficient. It gives more processing speed. It does not take time to go to the bank, queue, apply for foreign currency. You simply go with your foreign currency into a shop, buy what you want to buy at the rate of that currency at that particular day. And it gives a better customer experience. Again, it gives a stronger supplier relations. So that because the world has moved to mostly online business, all sizes and descriptions are now reaching global markets. So that means it becomes easier if your country uses a multi-currency, you'll be quoted in any of the currency which is used in your country. There is no exchange difficulties. There are no problems you might face from all that. So in other words, when we talk about reducing of transaction costs, we are simply saying if you hold a separate accounts in different countries, each bank may charge a fee. I'm sure you know about that. So when there's a multi-currency now, you are not going to be charged all those any fee. A single multi-currency account enables you to hold all the currencies that make your customer and your supplier at the same time, and you just pay one account fee. So that is better for the business, better for the client, and better for whoever is in it. Again, it's easier to manage foreign exchange, and therefore there will be no need for foreign exchange because, as I had said from the beginning, the foreign exchange, the foreign amount is already in circulation in the country.
But I think the issue here is Zimbabwean authorities are realizing that most Zimbabweans, or the majority of Zimbabweans, prefer the US dollar than the pound. We know it's a multi-currency system, but at the end of the day, there are preferences. And they're saying, okay, for me to store money, I need to store my money in US dollars than in bond, because the bond is very, fluid. So at the end of the day, it devalues left, right, and center. So why not abandon this bond altogether, Dr. Mavas? Because that's the core. That's the core of the problem. If we have to be honest here.
If you abandon the Zimbabwean currency at this stage, you are literally wiping away the banking sector, the whole of it. It means those people with 10 million Zimbabwean bond in their accounts will wake up again to a 2008 scenario of having zero. Those people who have invested in the bond, it is the purpose, it is the duty of the government to protect those investors, those people, those individuals.
But at the same time, what happened when they said, okay, we're no longer using the dollar, we're now introducing the bond? So it works like a chicken and egg kind of story. So I mean, at the end of the day, let's let's be very informative here. So it works in a way maybe that is tolerated by the state officials than the public, right?
No, you're not understanding. Let me answer your question first. Then I'll come to this next question. Why do we have to have the multi-currency? Number one, if we remove the Zim dollar now, we wipe away a lot of accounts. We wipe away people's savings. We wipe away pensions. We wipe away the banking sector. There will be no need for a bank. The bank will be rendered useless. So in other words, to protect our banking sector, to protect our financial sector, we need to be able to make sure we still have our own currency. You cannot enjoy autonomy as a government if you don't control the financial sector, if you don't control the money. The problem, Gibbs, is that if we only use the US dollar only and we have no control of the US dollar as a government, then we are not a government. What it simply means is that our reserve bank does not work anymore because we don't control anything. So by so doing, our government, our economy, everything will be controlled by the Reserve Bank of America if they've got a Reserve Bank or a Bank of America or whatever their main bank is. So for the purpose of our autonomy, for the purpose of our sovereignty, we need to have a currency we control. However, now when we have multi-currency, it simply means all other currencies which are being used in our country are going to be pegged on our dollar, on our money. So we still have a control, we still have some sort of control of the financial sector in the country. So you will see that 50% of our industry in Zimbabwe is financial industry. And if we allow the Zim dollar to be removed, we are actually wiping out 50% of our industries. We are simply saying the banks, the Western Union, everything we do in financial sector is gone. And can you imagine how many people we've taken out of employment? So we cannot just want to follow people who just argue without reasoning. There is a reason. There is wisdom in our life in this scenario.
Yes, Evans.
Yes, Baba Mavaza, tokutendai kuti mapinda muchirongwa chanhasi. Vamavaza, kuna nambuya vedu vari kwabushuko nekunoperera Zimbabwe vanogona kutadza kunzwisisa language yemari iri kutaurwa iyi. Ivo chavanoda kuenda kuchitoro vachinotenga chingwa vachiwana chirimo nemari yavanokwanisa kutenga nayo. Zvimwe zvose zvatiri kutaura izvi nezvimwe zviri kupereterwa nechirungu chefinancial sector havazvinzwisisi. Vari kubatsirika sei nenyaya dziri kuitika idzi dzekunzi nhasi kunonzi hatichadzokeri kuUS dollar, mangwana kwomuka uchinzi taakushandisa futi US dollar riya. Zvinovasiyawo vari papi vanambuya izvi?
Chekutanga nyaya yekuti tikati nhasi tiri apa mangwana tiri apo semuzerere inoratidza kuti hurumende yeZimbabwe hurumende yakaisvonaka inogona kushandura zvinhu nekuda kuti ite adjust kuzvido zvevanhu. Haingoramba ichiita chakagwinyira. Inoti kana zvinhu zvichinge zvaoma inotekenyudza nepakapfava. Saka mukaona hurumende yati mangwana hatichada mari yekuAmerica nhasi taakuida, hakusi kuzungaira asi kuedza kuti vanhu vese vabatwe vabatsirikane pasina anosara ari parumanadzombe. Asi kandichipindira mubvunzo wenyu Baba Zininga, vanambuya vari kumusha pabushu padhuze neHarare asi ngangoti maybe vari kwavatsomba kure uko, ivava vanambuya ava vanobatsirika, ndo vanyanya kubatsirwa nemutemo waiswa uyu, nekuti mari yavakachengeta mumba mavo nhasi haina kuraswa, haina kubviswa udzamu hwayo, yaramba iri payanga iri. Changovapo ndechekuti ari kuuyawo ane mari kune imwe nyika anobvumirwa kutenga nayo. Chatiri kuchana ndechekuti nekuda kwekuti isusu kana inflation ichinge yauya haichakwanisa kutsvaira currency yedu because tine multi currency. Mukationa tatsvairwa neinflation tatokuvadzwa nekuwanda kwemari kupfuura chekutenga, inenge yatongova zviri kuparadza nyika yese nekuti tine mari yenyika yese munzvimbo imwe chete. Nemamwe mazwi tiri kuti tine miseve yakasiyana-siyana mumakate medu. Saka hatichingorina nemuseve mumwe chete. Saka mumwe museve ukaramba tinoedza zvimwe. Tisi tinonzi vana zvikaramba tinoedza zvimwe. Ndoda kuti ndingochingirira kuti kana kuti ndirase muono wenyu wamambotaura pamanga muchitaura pekutanga paya baba Zininga kuti taakudzokera kuna Abuya Tiyabangana program. Aiwa handiyoba tiri paprogram yekuti kana tichinge zvikaramba tinoedza zvimwe. Haisi kuti uyachitaurirani. Tiri tatotaura kare. Iwe tedzira zvatataura. Tava nemulti currency. Kana waya kuzotenga, kana usina mari yemuZimbabwe, shandisa yayo nayo inotenga.
Ndoda kuti titarise Dr. panyaya yekunzi izvoni mari yemuZimbabwe, RTGS kana kuti local currency. Kunzwisisawo kwangu kushoma, muchandibatsira ipapo, ndepekuti nyika igone kumira ichiti isu tine mari yedu inonzi dhora izhi. Munofanirwawo senyika kunge muine atingati ma-reserves anoita backup mari yenyu, currency yenyu yamuri kushandisa. Semuenzaniso, Botswana inonzi ine ma-reserves ema-minerals anosimbisa pula ravo kusvika for the next 50 years vanogona kurarama vasina mari yavatsvaga imwe, asi currency yavo yakasimba nekuti vane pavakaunganidza pavakabatirira. Zimbabwe ine papiwo payakaunganidza payakabatirira pangasimbise kuti mari yedu yemuZimbabwe iyi.
Right, mauya nemubvunzo wakanaka. Iko zvino izvi Zimbabwe ine zvakawanda zvatakaona zvatinazvo zviri kubata mari yedu. Mari yedu iko zvino iri kubatwa negoridhe. Zimbabwe ine goridhe tiri tikatarisa munyika pasi rose tenderere. Zimbabwe tiri panumber 5 pagoridhe redu. Uyezve goridhe redu rinowanikwa riri rakanyanya kukosha, uyezve rine ugoridhe hwakasimba kupfuura magoridhe dzimwe nyika. Saka mari yedu yakasungirirwa pagoridhe. Pamusoro pezvo tine zvakawanda zvatinazvo zvinoitawo sana chrome, tine madiamonds, tine zvicherwa zvakawanda, vana lithium zviri kuwanikwa zviri kutibatsirawo. Uyezve tinotengesa zvinhu zvakaita sefodya inotipa mari yakati wandei, ndo inotipa mari yakawanda pazvirimwa zvemuZimbabwe. Saka hongu mari yedu yakatsigirwa negoridhe. Chinova nedambudziko redu nguva ino ndechekuti mari yedu yemuZimbabwe kunyange yakatsigirwa negoridhe haina udzamu hwakanyanya kusimba nekuti iri kurwiswa nezvakawanda zvakaitenderedza. Saka kuiprotecta, kuidzivirira, taipoteredza nemari dzimwe nyika yatinoti multi currency allowance, kuti taakushandisa dzimwe nyika, mari dzimwe nyika dzapoteredza mari yedu. Saka mari yedu yachengetedzwa nemari dzekunze. Saka tinotova nerombo rakanaka kuti takwanisa kuchengetesa mari yedu tichishandisa mari dzevamwewo, dzevamwe nyika. Taashiri yakangwara inovaka dendere neminhenga yedzimwe.
Let me also bring you to another angle, Yekuti Doc. For a country to export as much as you can, you also need to be selling to countries that have a stronger currency than yours, so they find benefit in buying from your country in the process. When we come to multi-currency systems, you are using the pounds, you are using the US dollar, you're using the Chinese yen. How does that mix up create a level playground for exports within the country?
What we should appreciate is that in everything we send, we export out of Zimbabwe, it is marked in US dollars. What we do outside the country, as far as our exports are concerned, that has not changed. That goes on US dollar. What we do in use in Zimbabwe, that's where multi-currency applies. So in other words, do not be confused by the multi-currency. Multi-currency does not mean we are selling our goods by multi-currency outside. If we are selling in South Africa, we are going to peg our things at a rate of per US dollar. But it's up to the South Africans. If they pay us in the South African rands, which will be a tender currency in Zimbabwe, we peg the price as per US dollar at the rate at that moment. So in other words, there is no confusion when we export our things. They go out there pegged on US dollar.
I get you. Now, let's go back to the streets. We all try to stay formal and stay in the offices, but there's a lot of activity going on around this currency and rates on the streets and in the streets. The average person who goes to borrow money in Zimbabwe today in RTGS, in the local currency, and then 5 weeks later, the rate has ballooned 3, 4, 5 times, and they have to pay off that loan at the same old rates from 5 weeks or 6 weeks ago. Do you not think there is some form of fraud that's going on around this? Is this a fair play for bankers and the business community at large?
It is not a fair play, I do agree to an extent. Where a person goes to the bank, is given a Zimbabwean bond at a certain rate, which is probably 1:5 US dollars. And then when he wants to go and pay back, the money has gone up beyond the interest rate, and now it's 1:550. That is exactly where the minister has come in to say, no, we have to protect our people. Our banking sector must not rely on the black market madness. It must have a governed, proper, reasonable rate, interest rate, and we must go by the interest rate we have agreed on. And again, the advantage now of the multi currency is that we are not going to have the fluctuating prices and fluctuating rates. We are dealing with the rates which are on the world market, financial market, is pegged on the US dollar. So on that basis, it is going to solve a lot of problems, a lot of headaches, and those people were shortchanged by taking 10,000 bond and now paying when it's about 500,000 bond are going to be vindicated, because now we are going to be pegged at a currency which is not fluctuating due to inflation or any other economical problems which might bedevil our country. So in other words, yes, I agree with you, it will be unfair if people are going to be quoted at a new rate every day. People must stick to the rate where they signed their contracts. When you take a loan, you must look at the contract. The contract must be pegged at the rate and the interest rate of that particular day when you get your loan. If it is at the particular day when you pay, that has to be revisited. And that's why the court, that's why the government had taken a step to say we have to protect our people. Otherwise, our people will be the losers if we do not protect them in this way.
Uyamuzwa baba Gibsi, Dr. Mavaza.
Ngiyamuzwa kakhulu ngisibili uMabazi uyakhuluma lapha sibile sithi uvikele uhulumende ukuthi lokho akwenzileyo kungani kuyikho. So siyamuzwa sibili uyakhuluma khonapho. Kodwa ke esikubonayo khonapha Zulu kaNdaba ukuthi uhulumende sesithi nxa ufisa ule mpahla yakho oyithengisayo sungafaka i-US dollar khonapho ukuthi iyimalini nge-US dollar. Kodwa kumele uyuze lokho kuthiwa i-inter market rate kumbe interbank rate okumele ibe khona. So ke khonokho nxa ukuthi bekwenza kumele kwenzakale kusemthethweni. So laba abavimba umthetho kumbe bengenzi okusemthethweni kungani kuzabakhathaza kakhulu. Balakho ukuthi bebotshwe, balakho ukuthi bethathelwe ama-license abo, balakho ukuthi kwenziwe konke khonokho okungani akuvunyelwe emthethweni. So lapho uMabazi uyacazulula uzama ukuthi atshela abantu ukuthi hayi phela khonokho kwenziwe nguhulumende kuqondile ngoba kumele kwenziwe njalo. I-fiscal issues vele zihamba kanjalo. So ke nxa siya phambili besizama ukuthi sithole lamanye ama-economist lapho esingakhuluma labo, kodwa ungazana amafoni abo ngani afile nje singazi ukuthi kuhamba njani. Sicela sibathola kodwa ngokuya kwesikhathi. So Dr. Mavaza, making some reflections on what is going on. We know that the multiple currency started in 2009, and at a certain level it was almost sort of like phased out somehow, because the US dollar became the in thing, So now we know we are using it, and we've been using it for a while, but the bond note appears to be losing energy. It appears to be losing a lot of energy, and the devaluation is so clear that a lot is happening. So you have said, well, it happens that at the end of the day, people have to use their own currency, because if they remove it today, there's gonna be some kind of rumble in the market, right? But then going forward, Mr. Dr. Mavaza, we know that many people lost a lot of money which they had invested in terms of pensions. Our fathers, our brothers, our sisters, they lost a lot of money. So why not sacrifice now and say, okay, let's just do it, and then we'll see what happens next. Just compared to what happened last time. That's the first question. The second question is, going forward, it looks as if the Zimbabwean government is confusing a lot of people. Me and you right now are saying, okay, we can understand a little bit. Yes, it's happening, but there's a lot of confusion. So let's agree on that. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, firstly, we don't have to agree on what you've last said. I'll tell the reason why we will never agree on it. But let's go to the first question. I want you to apply this to yourself. Will you want today to sacrifice your £10,000 in your account, to sacrifice it today, that it would be zero, and you get used to have lost it and move on? So we cannot do that. So what we are asking the government to do is to say, can you wipe out all the accounts of the people who are banking in bonds, so that they'll get used after 6 months, they'll be used, and then they start working again. This has happened before, and the government had seen how people suffered in 2008, how people suffered in 2007 and 8, and when they wake up in the morning and their monies had gone. I can give you an example, Gibbs, of 2 people whom I know. Actually, they died out of stress. They sold their house and they kept the money in the bank, and they were hoping to buy their house within 3-4 months. In that period, things changed. And when they went back to collect the money of their house, it was now worth only $42 a house in Meborin, which was worth 1.2 million. It had come down to $42 after the balance in the account was wiped by the change of the Zim dollar to one currency. So this process by the government of allowing the multi-currency, it is protecting mostly the people of Zimbabwe, the common man in the street, the man who has kept his bond in the bank. He is not going to wake up in the morning and find a zero balance. We are not saying the multi-currency is the best thing ever, but it is the only thing to cushion our people at the moment. Until the lasting solutions to our financial problems, this is the best we can have now. Why is it the best now? It has been tried before. We have tried what we have suggested before, and people were the losers. We have people who had sold their houses for millions and billions, and when they went to take the money after the change, it was £1 and $1, and that is a house. And the government felt the pain of its people, and today it could not repeat the same mistake. Now, coming to the second point, we cannot agree on what you had said on the second point. I can tell you the government is not confusing people. The government is actually protecting people. There might be confusions here and there, but it's not the confusion occasioned by the government. It is a confusion occasioned by the fear of what had happened before. But what I can tell you now and what I can tell you tomorrow is our economical situation is not pleasing. We are not, we cannot sit here and say things are okay. They are not okay. Things are bad. But in this bad situation, the government has come up with a way of protecting its people, civil servants, everybody else, every Zimbabwean, every man on the street, every man with the money in his house, and the bank, those with bond notes in their houses or in their shops, they are protected. Can you imagine if this morning every money was wiped away? We are now going to use US dollars only. Can you imagine?
Yes.
You could be having on the streets today. So I think we should give a thumbs up to the government. It was a thing well thought, and congratulations to Minister Mthuli Ncube. He has done a very diligent way in this way.
Thank you very much, and stay on the line, Dr. Mavaza. Now we're joined by Professor Mukonza. He is in South Africa. He's an economic and political commentator. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Good evening to your listeners and viewers.
Thank you so much. I think you've heard what is happening in Zimbabwe right now. As we speak, the government is saying, you know, the multi-currency system is there to stay. For the next 5 years, it will be there. And people can now price their goods in US dollars, which should be equivalent to the intermarket rate that is prevailing at that time. Your take on that?
I think the government doesn't seem to have an understanding of the challenges that people are facing on the ground. Because you see, the challenge that people have is with the bond note. Because the bond note, if you look at it, government started by saying it's equivalent to one bond note is equivalent to $1 US. And that did not work due to inflation and other related challenges. And now government comes in and still maintains this bond note, which is proved over time that it's not working. And what makes the situation very unfair is that while they talk of a multi-currency system, the US dollar seems to be available to those that are politically connected, including, you know, government officials and all the other high-ranking officials, and obviously the economic elite, the business people.
I hope you.
But to the ordinary people,
yes,
and to the ordinary people and also civil servants, they are getting bond notes. And that's a raw deal to the ordinary people in Zimbabwe. I don't think government has thought through, you know, their strategy in dealing with the economic problem. Yes, I'm sure they've realized there's a problem, but the solution that they seem to be bringing to the table, I don't foresee it working for the ordinary people in Zimbabwe.
Yes, sir. Evans, chip in, sir.
Tiri kukunzwa ipapapo Doc. Ndoda kuti ndidzoke futi kwamuri titi mataura kuti mimi amuoni solution iri kuiswa nehurumende patafura ichigona kugadzirisa chimiro chiri munyika ichi. Ndakukumbirai kuti imiwo nemaonero enyu mutaurirewo muri yeZimbabwe kuti zvii zvamunofunga imi kuti zvaidai zvaitwa kuti zvigadzirise chimiro chave munyika nenyaya dzemari idzi.
Ini ndinofunga kuti dambudziko remuZimbabwe riri kuzikanwa nevanhu vese kuti ririmo pamusoro pezveupfumi ranga richida kugadziriswa nenzira yakadaiwo so. Pekutanga, nekuda kwekuti dambudziko riripo ndere mari iriko kunzi mabond notes yaratidza kuti imari isiri kushanda, haina wairi kunyasoshandira. Saka chandinofunga kuti chingagone kuitwa ndechekuti kwechinguva chidiki chinogona kuita makore 2 kana kuita makore 3, hurumende yaigona kuunza mari yekunze ingagone kushanda yakaita semari yekuAmerica kana iyo mari yemuno muSouth Africa, mari ine huremu inogona kutenga kumunhu wese. Yadaro yozoti yanyasogadzirisa mamiriro ezvunhu yochiunza mari yainenge ichiti mari yemuZimbabwe. Nekuti chiri kudikwa iko zvino inyaya yekumbogadzira mutserendende wekuenda kumawere uri kuitika panyaya dzezveupfumi kunyanya kuvanhu vari kuzasi vemuZimbabwe.
Dr. Mavaza, ndichivati iyo mari yemuzimbabwe yamunoti dai yagadziriswa masvondo akapera ndo zvaitaurwa kunzi tidzokeri kumari yekunze tichagadzirisa mari yedu yemuno muzimbabwe. Ndambovabvunza kuti Zimbabwe ine payakabatirirawo here painomira napo semareserves zvatinoona kune dzimwe nyika kuti local currency inenge ichisapotwa nemareserves anomira akasimbisa mari yenyika yavo. Ndabvunzawo kuti Zimbabwe ine iwo chayo chainoti ndo chinotsigira mari yomuzimbabwe. Ameno mune zvamunonzwisisawo ipapo?
Ipapo hongu muri kutaura zvakanaka wazininga. Mari imwe neimwe munyika dzatinoona dzinozoita mari inenge yakatsigirwa pada negoridhe, pada nezvimwe zvinogona kunge zvine huremu pane zveupfumi. Asi kuZimbabwe dambudziko rataita nderekuti mari yedu hongu iriko, inenge ichinzi iriko, asi hatina chokwadi chekuti ine payakatsikirira. Ndosaka ichigona kungozoti pano nepapo yatsvedza, pano nepapo zvatochinja. Inyaya yekuti haina kunyatsosimba sezvinotarisirwa, sezvinoitika kune dzimwe nyika.
I will also bring you to respond to the ideology of imports and exports that says the relationship between your currency in a country has to find a balance with where you want to export your products, so that the countries that are buying from you can find the benefit of buying from you. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I need you to come in and throw in your thoughts around that. Can Zimbabwe still export anywhere in the world if they are trading on a strong currency like the US dollar?
I think that's where the other challenge is, Mr. Zininga. I mean, the challenge is simply that bringing in the US dollar may also introduce challenges of making things, a bit more expensive to produce in Zimbabwe. I think we know of the experience that we had between 2009 and 2013 when we had the government of national unity. That challenge was identified by economists as one of the challenges that was affecting production in Zimbabwe. And you would recall that Zimbabwe became predominantly a supermarket economy. So that's the challenge that could also come with introducing the US dollar. But then my take is, I think the government of Zimbabwe needed some kind of a discussion, a roundtable discussion with various stakeholders in Zimbabwe, including those, I mean, industrialists, and because there should be a way around the problem that could help us to find a solution that will, one, help us to arrest the free fall that we are seeing in the economy. And we can see the effect of the free fall, the industrial exchange by government employees and many other employees, but also at the same time, ensuring that you don't make producing goods in Zimbabwe more expensive than what could be in the price of producing things in the region or elsewhere in the world.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Mukonza. So can you hold on there? We've got another guest, and that is an economic commentator, Masimba Kuchera. Today we've got the Masimba brothers here. So, Kuchera, good evening. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope you are well.
We are all well. So give us your take on what is going on in terms of, what Dr. Mangusha announced today, saying that the multi-currency system will be there for the next 5 years or so. So because of lack of confidence that is in the financial market right now. So give us your take on that.
No, look, I think that was bound to happen. People have lost confidence in the Zimbabwean dollar. I think the truth of the matter is that people have been bent twice within 10 years. Remember that in 2009, when we dollarized, people's monies were eroded. Even pension funds are still struggling to get over that one. And then in 2019, you also had on the 20th of February that 1:1 currency system no longer applying, and people also lost their monies there. So people do not have confidence in the Zim dollar. So it's something that I think it was bound to happen, to say perhaps now they want to formalize that the US dollar will be currency, because then there was fear that the Zim dollar was going to come and you remember the president saying that Zim dollar you will not find it. So I think that they are just trying to, but that's not a confidence building measure for the Zimbabwean dollar. The Zimbabwean dollar really needs serious confidence building measures, and I think one of those confidence building measures is to perhaps gradually introduce it onto the market, not as it is now.
So khonokho-ke nxa sikhangele baba Masimba Kuchera okwenzakalayo ubona njani? Kuya ngaphi konke lokho?
Angibona njengani khathesi asiyilutho ngoba asihambi asila esikwenzayo, ngoba nxa ungakhangela uzabona ukuthi besiwukhangelele sibili ukuthi uhulumende uzasitshela ukuthi lange-US dollar liyasebenza lapha eZimbabwe. Abantu abalathemba ku-Zim dollar. Izimali zachabalala ngo-2009, izimali zachabalala njalo ngo-2019. So khathesi akulathemba, and usakhumbula ukuthi sivela khona ngale kundaba yamabond. Besebenzisa amabond uma ukuthi ayisithi 1:1 lingawi ibond ngizadesigner lokho sekhona umdala uma ukuthi ukhona sibili ethi ibond liyasebenza kumbe belisebenza, kodwa siyakwazi ukuthi ibond belingasasebenzi. So into enjengalezo yithi mina zitshengisa ukuthi ulodubo sibili in terms of ukuthi abantu babe lethemba le-local currency. So enye okume kwenzakala ukuthi sisebenzise i-US dollar, i-Zimbabwean dollar ingene gradually into the market. Kodwa sekusitsho ukuthi uhulumende sokumele anike izisebenzi zakhe ama-salaries esebenzisa i-US dollar. Bebonisana ukuthi engxenye 540 kumbe 570 efunakalayo ngama-civil servants abaningi ingaba iningi kakhulu. Bezama ukubonisana ukuthi engxenye bengabanika maybe ama-$300 or some figure which is below 500 nxa bengelayo.
Yeah, but looking at issues to do with the US dollar, we've got to Dr. Masimba Mavaza, who's saying that if the US dollar is introduced today, some people are bound to close their accounts, which are in bond. So will that have a serious impact on people's accounts?
No, look, Dr. Mavaza will be very much aware that we were using the US dollar, I think, with relative stability from 2009. You also realize that in 2016, the government, as a way of introducing small denominations into the market, brought something called a bond coin. You remember that we then had a bond note, and then this is where we are now because of unclear policy pronouncements. So we need to clean the Zim dollar that is there now and probably introduce a new one in the proper way, because people were duped into thinking that they were just having change for small coins, and then we started having bond notes, and then suddenly 2019 we then have no longer the 1:1. In 2020 we actually legislate that now the Zim dollar is current. So we didn't introduce the currency in a proper way, and I think this is why Zimbabweans do not have confidence in that currency.
Yeah, so I think Evans, you can hear what he's saying. You know, there's a lot there, and this guy is an economist based in Harare. So do you have any question for him so that I can pose it for you? You can go ahead.
Yes, sure. I'm not sure if he can hear me, but if he cannot hear me, please pass it on. Kuchera, we cannot separate politics from economics. These two go hand in hand in creating a platform for proper governance yevanhu. Kuna nambuya vari kumamisha uko vasiri kutonzwisisawo kuti bond note, US dollar, pound, rand zvinoshanda sei, vanobatsirikawo sei ine mambo jambori kind of setup yekuti madirativhange chatabata ndichocho chamukainyama iripo ndo inoshanda. Zvinoda kuti zviitwe sei kuti vabatsirikewo kumamusha uko?
Right. So the question here, Mr. Kuchera, is from Evans. He's saying that there are some people in villages in Totito, there in Kwanda, in Yamantovu, who may not be understanding what is going on. So what can they grasp out of what Dr. Mangusha has actually announced briefly? I think you can respond to that question. Because he says there's a lot of confusion. Mr. Kuchera?
Yes, so this confusion, people are now actually used to it. Remember that we had numerous reduction of zeros during the Gideon Gola era, to the extent that there is a story told about the late president's brother Donato, who then started refusing to change these notes because the zeros were being removed at an alarming rate. So he continued to have the monies that he was using. I think for the people in Otito, for the people in Checheche, for the people in Choloto, what is on the ground is that their bond note will be, or their bond currency will be losing value as of now. If they have US dollars, then it's important that they look after them and they use them. They use them wisely. I think that's the advice that we can actually give people in the villages, to say that for now it's important to look after I know a lot of people are selling tobacco, but in cotton, katesi. It's important to look after those US dollars for now.
Yes, hold on there. I think I'll go back to Evans. Evans, you can go ahead with Dr. Mavaza.
Vamavaza, muri kunzwa zviri kutaurwa here navakuchera izvo? Vari kutaurawo nyaya yekuti zviri kutaurwa navamutuli Muve nezviri kutaurwa izvo Dr. John Mangundya. The country has been waiting to hear something like this because of the collapse of the financial sector. Vari kuti zvinhu hazvisina kumira zvakanaka. Vari kuti ameno zvimwe kana manga muchinzwawo zvavanga vachitaura, ndingada kuti mupindure pane mashoko avataura. He's a very renowned economist, and I want to believe vanhu vakawanda vanovateerera vakataura nyaya dzemari. Asi ndoda kuti mupindurewo pane pfungwa dzavo dzavari kukanda mudariro.
Thank you. Musad Mandi patronizer ne ingopinda kuti Masimba Kuchera vaita dambudziko rimwe chete rekungo rekungosummariza nekungotarisa history yezvakamboitika kare. Ehe, ndinobvumirana nawo pekutanga kuti people have lost confidence in the body, and that's not a secret. And again, tambozvitaura vasina vapinda kuti 2008 2019 vanhu mari dzavo maaccounts they were eroded, vakasara vapa zero, and that's the reason why we cannot just replace the Zim dollar just like that, because if that is done, people will have their monies eroded. People will not have their monies at all. And vanhu vanga vagara vari vashoma, vanga vasina confidence nemabhengi, nekuda kuti zvaingochinjwa mari yako iri kubhengi. Vanhu vanga vane mari dziri kubhengi vanga vari vanhu vakaita semacivil servants vanotambirira kubhengi, nevanenge vaita business negovernment vanoisira mari yavo kubhengi. Saka because of that there were few problems ekuti ingadai mari yeZimbabwe yangokandwa uko chiripo-ripotyo, paiva nedambudziko rekuti pane vaisara vasina chavakabata, saka nyika inenge yatopinda mudambudziko. Chepiri, zvaitwa nehurumende izvi, ndoda kuti vakuchera economist vaunderstande kuti yes, that is one of the confidence building measures. Again, I think I should qualify the point in Mkoma Evans. Kuti part of my LLD, I dealt with economics and law, so I do understand the economical aspect in a political atmosphere ngati seZimbabwe. Dambudziko ratinaro nderekuti yes, tinoda kuti zvishoma nezvishoma nyika itange kuintroduce kana tingati a gradual introduction of the Zim dollar to the market. Yeah, dambudziko rakaitika ratinobvumirana naro navakuchera nderekuti hatina kutora nzvimbo yekuita zvishoma nezvishoma kuunza mari yeZimbabwe. Zvakaitika ndezvekuti takangochinja kuti bond yatova dhora reZimbabwe. Bond harina kuzotransforma from being a bond to a money. Yakangonzi yatova mari, saka vanhu havana kuzowana hanya yekuitrusta, nekuti yakambotanga yachinzi iringori bond, iri kungomirira nzvimbo yemari, ichazobvisa kuya mari chaiyo chaiyo. Asi nzvimbo yekuti mari chaiyo chaiyo yakabva ngonzi aiwa iyo yatova mari chaiyo chaiyo, zvakabva zvakaita vanhu vasave nekutenda kana vasave netrust nezvinotaurwa nehurumende panyaya dzemari. Asi twakanyenzisa kuti it's not true that we are going nowhere. The government had seen where it has gone wrong, and I have said because of that,
20 seconds. Yes, 20 seconds.
The government has come back now to correct their mistakes. And what is happening now, the multi-currency, the regime multi-currency, it is the part of the confidence building measure towards economy Zimbabwe and protecting anambuya nana sekuru vasiri mukati me-financial sector.
Thank you.
Asi hakuna munhu, in short Gibbs, hakuna munhu muZimbabwe asiri in financial sector. As long as you use your money, you are in the financial sector.
Thank you very much. Your last word, Dr. Mukonza.
Inini mashoko angu ekupedzisira ndeyekuti dai hurumende yangowana a solution that to in some way help in dealing with the problem that the people are facing in terms of the currency. And for me, this solution lies in bringing in a currency that has value, a currency that can be trusted by people in the form of the US dollar or the South African rand. Yoita iyo mari inotambirwa nevanhu uye inoshandiswa nehurumende pakutengesa, inowanikwa pakutengeswa kwezvinhu, kwete kuti vanhu vanopuwa bond asi zvinhu zvichitengeswa neUS dollars kana nemarands. Izvozvo zvinobiridzira vanhu. Ndo mashoko angu, dai hurumende yafunga yaita zvinhu zvinobatsira vanhu, isaite piecemeal solutions to the economic problem.
Masimba Kuchera, just 10 seconds, your last word. 10 seconds exactly. Mr. Kuchera, can you hear me? I think the 10 seconds are now gone. So on that note, I think we have to end our show today. We had a brilliant team with us. That is a team of guests. That was Mr. Masimba Kuchera, an economic analyst based in Harare. Dr. Masimba Mavaza of ZANU-PF, and Dr. Mukonza is an academic based in Johannesburg, in South Africa. And right now, Evans, I think our show is over, and we thank them so much. And signing off from Maryland, this is Kip Stube saying good night, Zimbabwe.
And my name is Evans Zininga, bidding you farewell. We will meet again soon.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.